Hurricane Beryl has shattered records and left devastation in its wake. This unprecedented storm became the earliest Category 4 hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin, making landfall in Grenada as a Category 4, escalating to a Category 5, and wreaking havoc across Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. But it didn't stop there. Beryl hammered Tulum in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Now it's on a collision course with Texas, with hurricane watches already issued. Stay tuned for the latest updates and essential safety tips you won't want to miss. Taking a look now at the tropics, we see Tropical Storm Beryl is out in the Gulf of Mexico, but is gaining strength, currently with maximum sustained winds of 60 miles an hour and moving west-northwest at 12 miles an hour. This storm has started to slow down, giving it more time in the Gulf of Mexico to strengthen. And we can see that in our cone, the National Hurricane Center is expecting this to gain hurricane strength, most likely Category 1, before making landfall in Texas. We see tropical storm warnings are already put in place for portions of northern Mexico and very southern Texas, but a hurricane watch from the mouth of the Rio Grande in southern Texas all the way up to the Galveston Bay area. So something to look out for here. Hurricane force winds could be pretty widespread in the region. So here is the most likely arrival time of tropical storm force winds. And we can see that the very southern tip of Texas and northern Mexico, where that tropical storm warning is in place, is expected to begin seeing those tropical storm force winds right around Sunday afternoon, evening time frame between Sunday 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. But much of the Texas coastline, including the areas where it could make landfall, we're expecting those tropical storm force winds between Sunday 8 p.m. and Monday at 8 a.m. So overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning. And the one thing we got to watch out here is that storm surge. If this storm does make landfall overnight, we are expecting 2 to 4 feet in areas north of the mouth of the Rio Grande, but south of Baffin Bay, and north of Baffin Bay and south of San Luis Pass, 3 to 5 feet expected for your storm surge there, and 2 to 4 feet expected from San Luis Pass to High Island. 3 major bays here: Corpus Christi expecting 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, Matagorda Bay 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, and Galveston Bay 2 to 4 feet of storm surge there. But combine that with the amount of rainfall that we could see from this storm system, with that area right around Matagorda Bay, right? Expecting 8 inches of rain. 8 to 12 inches of rain expected in this tight corridor here, but anywhere in yellow, which includes the city of Houston, up the Gulf Coast, up to the Louisiana border, all the way south to Corpus Christi, that's upwards of 4 inches of rain expected with this system. And that by itself could lead to massive flash flooding and urban flooding in an area that is very prone to flash and urban flooding. So something to take note of there. We need to be prepared for flash flooding with this storm. Even if you're not going to be at the spot of landfall, the impacts of the storm are very widespread across the state. So here is our hurricane and global model guidance showing where the center of this storm could go. This is not the impacts, this is just the center of the storm. And you can see a pretty good consensus on a landfall in between Corpus Christi Bay and Galveston Bay, most likely right around Matagorda Bay. So that is an area that we are watching very closely. If the storm makes landfall just south of Matagorda Bay, right, that center of the storm, even though it's not a formed eye wall, will be the area of strongest winds. And if that sets up right along that bay and we're pushing that water inland, combining that with 8 inches of rain could lead to devastating flooding. So please, if you are in any areas between the mouth of the Rio Grande, basically the entire Texas Gulf coastline, but specifically around Matagorda Bay, please take note of this system. If this storm does end up just to your south, could see massive flooding impacts. Here's our intensity guidance for this storm. Most models now showing this at a peak tropical storm, very strong, but we do have some models, and based on the sea surface temperatures, we are kind of shooting a little bit higher than this spaghetti plot here with the intensity of this storm. We've seen this storm rapidly intensify multiple times now and kind of battle the amount of wind shear in the atmosphere and everything that could have gone right for this storm has not gone right. We've only seen this storm remain stronger, and that's why we're dealing with this situation in Texas right now. So I want to take a look at one of our hurricane models. Here's the storm right now. You can see the Yucatan Peninsula in the bottom right corner of the screen here. But as we move forward in time, you can see this storm really starting to get its act together, right? As of right now, we are right here at around 1,000 millibars according to this model, and we are about 997 currently according to the National Hurricane Center. So this storm is going to be quickly strengthening from the 990s, right? The lower the millibar count, the stronger the system is. You can see how many lines, these lines of equal pressure, are around the storm. The tighter those are, the stronger the winds. So that's something that we're looking at here. And this model is showing this storm making landfall actually in the Corpus Christi Bay area. And at 971 millibars is expecting this storm either at strong category 1 or maybe very low end category 2 strength. And we can see that here. This is our projected wind speeds. And you can see this storm really rapidly intensify right as it gets to the Texas coastline. Right along the coastline of Texas, we have temperatures that are well above average for this time of year in the sea. So the Gulf of Mexico, very warm for this time of year, and that could lead to some rapid strengthening of this storm system. So again, Matagorda Bay, in between there and Corpus Christi Bay, we could see those onshore winds pretty strong as well before this storm starts to move inland. And you can see it weaken very, very quickly. Those tropical storm force winds are not expected to go very far inland, but the impacts definitely will with this storm. Let me zoom out here and let's go over how much rain we're expecting with this system. And you can see some areas there in those maroons and those yellows. That's upwards of a half a foot of rainfall. And in those yellows, that could be upwards of 10 inches of rain. So definitely something to watch here. Heavy rain, strong winds, storm surge, all at risk for the Texas coastline with this storm system. Hurricane Beryl is not to be underestimated, and staying informed is crucial. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for real-time updates as this storm progresses. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might be affected. Leave your questions and comments below, and I'll get back to you with more information. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next update.